Good morning. This is the great Puckatini coming at you on behalf of fantasyfootballrankingzone.com. And I'm here with you this morning to share my week six fantasy football rankings with my new website. And once you footballranking.com, and I was going to share with my top five per position for today's games. Really excited. Today's October 14th. My daughter's checking this out. But anyway, my video's real grainy. I don't know why that is, but I'm still learning. But anyway, I'm gonna share. I have a new website, like I was telling you. It's fantasyfootballrankingzone.com, and you can check out my rankings for this week. And it's still not too late to get it. Right now it's 11:13 Central Time. You have about 45 minutes. You can go there, download my rankings for FanDuel, Yahoo, or DraftKings, and go win you some money today because I have been doing that myself. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you some history uh, that I've had. Um, and let me see here, I believe. Now, I've been playing, fantasy football for a long time, and uh, for over 5 years now, and I'm still playing with a $10 initial fee I made. I started out on FanDuel, then I've branched out to Yahoo and then DraftKings, and I'm still playing that money I won. So anyway, I was going to share some of this. You go to my website and download my rankings and put them into your player optimizer. I go to Roto Grinders and I just put it in there. It's free, and they optimize. They give me the top lineups, and I take it. Sometimes I that's my top lineup on FanDuel. I entered 4 contests on FanDuel. I won 3 out of those 4. This lineup was my best one. I finished 10th out of 100, and I scored 152 points with this lineup, 152.5. I noticed I did something that I don't do very often. I had 4 Pittsburgh Steelers in this lineup. I had Ben Roethlisberger, 2 points. And they gave me Antonio Brown, who had a big game, 25 points. That's a huge game. And then James Conner also had a big game. And then they also gave me Switzer, Ryan Switzer here. I had in my rankings, I had him having a little bit better game than that. I was projecting him to have between 6 points. Touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster had a really big game too. I had him stacked lineups. But this was my top lineup. And you can see Switzer was really cheap. He's $4,500. Not many people owned him, only 1%. Only got 1 point. I had a Roethlisberger who got me 22.6, and James Conner had a huge day there. I stacked them too because I knew he catches a lot of receiving yards. He had 75 receiving yards. So had a big game. Scored 199.10 points. This lineup was straight from the lineup optimizer. I did not change this at all. That's what they gave me, and I put it on there. This comes straight from my rankings. See, I had T.J. Yeldon again, Keenan Allen again. Now, Robbie Anderson was one who's new on there, but he got me 30 points. Only 4.3% of the people had him on there. So, I mean, notice, I'm not just doing what these other people are saying, do. I'm using my rankings. Jordy Nelson had a decent day. I thought he might do a little bit better. Austin Hooper, who I have playing a lot this week as well, he had 60 good there. Melvin Gordon, pretty good. And the Bills, once again, got me 12 points in my defense. The Buffalo Bills, and they were only using 13% of the lineups there. So you can see once again, I won my contest on DraftKings. Here is Yahoo. This is my top lineup on Yahoo. Contest on Yahoo last week, I won money on 2 of them. This was my best lineup. I finished 10th out of 100 on this one. I stacked, raw. O'Connor had a 2.5. He got 5 yards. But like I said, Juju Smith-Schuster had a really big game, and Antonio Brown did too. So just wasn't much left after all that. But you can see once again, I had TJ Yeldon, I had McCaffrey. We saw him earlier. Corey Davis is a new one on this. He would come in at 6.9. Only, a lot of people are saying don't play him last week, but he come through for a little bit there. We saw him early, and there's James Conner. Cardinal defense got me 21 points, which is really big. If that thing moved out of the way, go. And got 21 points last week, so I had a really big game there. Now, here are my rankings for this week that I have set up. First of all, we have Matt Ryan against Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers. Then Jameis Winston, who I'm really not a big fan of, but I do have him as my number 2 quarterback. And then Patrick Mahomes versus the New England Patriots. A lot of people are saying that could be one of the top fantasy games of the year, but that Tom Brady. My rankings are correct. Wide receivers, I have a Julio should be number 1. Then Mike Evans is a guy who I really like. Playing Atlanta, those two are going against each other. And then AJ Green, Cincinnati. Andy Dalton's been having some good weeks. They're playing Pittsburgh. Should have a big game, hopefully. You also have some other receivers in there for Cincinnati. You have Boyd, and their tight end, Uzuma, however you say his name. I expect those guys to have some good games. Antonio Brown's my number 4 this week versus the New England Patriots. I think he could be one of the top receivers because I think that should be a shootout. Kansas City, New England. I believe that's 10. I remember what that game is. My tight end projections, I have Rob Gronkowski, number 1, and then Travis Kelce, and then Austin Hooper, who have in a bunch of my lineups. Jimmy Graham against San Francisco, and then Kyle Rudolph against Arizona. I see those guys having good weeks. That Minnesota, Jack will be the top 5 defenses this week. So they're all my projections, my top five at every position. Now, what should you do now if you're new? You want to go to my website, which is fantasyfootballrankingzone.com, and download your rankings, download my rankings, excuse me. And then what I do is I go to Roto Grinders. That's a free site. You can sign up. Now, you just premium. You can pay for it if you want to, but I just use their player optimizer, and I put my rankings in there, and they give me the best lineup. And sometimes I tweak it. I don't always take it. So, I'm not saying just plug it in and you'll win. Luckily, I was able to do that some this last week, but it doesn't always happen that way. If you don't like what they give you, you can change it. You can replace one player for another. Uh,